For the best experience, please use headphones. Calling all adventurers. I repeat, calling all adventurers. Slim pickings today, as we've only got one job. A request for guard ice wall repair crew. In northwestern Everth, sections of a large ice wall are cracking again, and, although management insists it's nothing to worry about, they are requesting a guard detail. If you're competent with blade or sorcery and you've resistance to cold, this is absolutely the job for you. Payment in gold, glory, and one complimentary fur cloak. Oh, I'm getting something. Looks like a news story. Church of the Most Holy exposed in orphanage scandal. An inquisition into the Church of the Most Holy's Sanctuary for the Lost orphanage has revealed years of neglect and exploitation. It appears that the children have been used to secure generous charitable donations which have gone into the pockets of the High Cleric running the institution, who has since disappeared. The cleric's mansion has been searched, but the money has not been discovered. The church has promised an internal investigation, but critics have noted that they said that the last 6 times. It would seem these children have been failed on a profound level, but justice may yet prevail. Thus, I am opening another job. Find that cleric. Burn his house down and make him watch. Then bring him to me. I have a few questions for him. Know that you work with my blessing, adventurers, so the guards shan't give you trouble. All right, enough of that. Where were we? Oh, our chat with Harrington. Let's continue. The weather had turned again. The sound of gentle rain pattering against window panes eased into the back room from the shop front. It was accompanied by a kettle boiling on a stovetop and the tuneful humming of Lord Harrington Mulbrand. He was clear-headed and focused on the task at hand. Val retrieved cups and saucers from a cupboard, washed them, dried them down with a tea rag, and placed them neatly on the table. Her stare went vacant as her mind ticked over everything we'd seen that day. The ritual of tea-making appeared to settle them both in their own ways. I'd hit a wall, and it was wearing me out. I couldn't come to any meaningful conclusion as it was all too much. So I did what I always did when I needed to process. I focused on something else. I sat on a chair with my back to the wall, tinkering with the puzzle box I'd borrowed from Makana's lab. It was a heavy cube, made from copper with delightful precision, possessing rotating corners and cogs of varying sizes on all faces. I could tell there were markings on the moving parts that needed to line up, but I didn't really know what the box was going to do once I solved it.
Here's your tea with too many sugars.
I'd be the judge of that. Could do with a bit more, but it was acceptable.
Harrington?
Thank you kindly.
The two sat down, Val at the head of the table and Harrington across from me.
So, what's got the pair of you in such a state?
We got blown up.
Gods above! Well, you do seem a tad more disheveled than when we last spoke.
As you can tell, we're okay, but we figured we'd look into why that happened. We have discovered that the perpetrators are very likely to be a certain noble family that you have a familiarity with.
The Rose Fists.
The very same. We believe an information broker known as Ulysses Heller connected the Rose Fists with Lockridge. They then put him in contact with Collinsworth. I don't believe Heller had much else to do with your brother or the way he was treated. He is a different concern, so leave him to us for the moment.
I've not heard of the fellow, but I confess I've been trying to keep my head down of late. I'm not very clued in with who's who. But that confirms it. Heller notwithstanding, the Rose Fists are to blame. What do they have to do with your predicament?
It would seem that their patriarch has quite the interest in ancient artifacts. He hired a treasure hunter by the name of Danton Marshstone to procure them. When he discovered that Danton was dealing artifacts on the side, it turned expectedly deadly. Danton is gone as a result of the explosion that we were caught in.
I understand. I would not say I am surprised that the Rosefists have responded to a slight in this way. I asked around, and there are rumors that they have an eclectic list of business interests, ranging from legitimate to hideously criminal. There was even talk of trafficking, but I confess those allegations have dried up in recent years.
There's more. During all this, a young student at the Institute named Makana Zora has gone missing. She was who Danton donated goods to for a project she's working on that seems harmless enough. There's a chance she didn't even know about the Rosefist angle.
Oh, that poor thing. She's gone missing?
Completely evaporated. Like she never existed at all.
Have you had a chance for a thorough look?
We consulted a source that we have good reason to believe is reliable and effective.
I see. Well, I trust your own efficiency. I hope she is discovered in good health quickly.
If she exists, we'll find her. Anyway, tell us about this cotillion. I've heard about it, but I never got the chance to attend in the past.
The Spring Cotillion is the first of the 4 seasonal cotillions held by the king at the royal palace. 'Tis a gathering of society's most elite individuals. Everyone who is anyone will be there, including our dastardly Rosefists.
I stopped playing with the puzzle for a moment. Why is a noble family of the Rosefists ilk able to attend a thing like this? If we know about their criminal enterprises, then the king and his nobles likely know too. Should they not be barred from such an event?
Oh, my friend. Oh, if those guilty of shady dealings were uninvited from the royal palace, well, the entire building would be empty year-round.
The palace is home to and frequented exclusively by the obscenely wealthy. Thieves of the highest caliber. For the rich to exist, they must pillage from the poor.
I remembered that I was the only person at that table not born a noble. That feels rich coming from you two.
Indubitably. There are none more in the know than us.
Indeed. I am a landlord, for God's sake. What an awful thing to be.
Then stop being one.
Oh, were it so easy.
Nobles across the realm are functionally the same. The only thing that really separates them is their adherence to noblesse oblige.
What est oblige?
It's the responsibility that our privilege holds. I am a landlord as I own the entirety of Vigil's End, certainly. But the most important detail is why I own it. While I hold sole ownership of the province, I can ensure my people retain access to their strips, commons, and rights. Due to this, I have prevented unnecessary tax and rent increases for nearly 15 years. The wages in my province are nearly twice the national median average. I am very proud of this.
You control the land to shelter its people. Doesn't that put you at odds with the king?
I do, and it does. I expect the very reason I received an invitation to this cotillion is so 100 businessmen can hound me about buying the land. A favor from the king to his generous sponsors. I must attend to keep up appearances. If I were to stop being Lord of Vigil's End, for instance, by giving my wealth away, someone else may buy it up who is not so kind to its people.
So, you must remain part of the system you don't control to prevent it from getting worse. Harrington gave a solemn nod.
Believe me when I say that Harrington is in the minority here. The kinds of people we'll be seeing at the cotillion will largely be the other kind of noble. The profit before anything else kind. When they look at you, they won't see a person. They'll see a number in a ledger. You're a good man. You believe in doing good simply because it's right, and these people will sicken you to your core, but you must not engage on an emotional level. You'll need to stay calm and avoid making a scene.
I understand. Our objective is purely to see what we're up against. Heller is a friend of a friend to most people, so if we wish to learn about him, we'll need to engage with the Rosefists and get the info from them. Ignore everything else.
Excellent.
The event is tomorrow evening. I strongly suggest you both find something suitable to wear. High society considers bloodstains somewhat, gauche.
Leaning back in my chair, I was tempted to put my feet on the table in a display of headstrong rejection of expectation, but thought better of it. Instead, I finished my tea and continued to tinker with the puzzle while Val and Harry nattered on.
Do you have any recommendations for appropriate attire, Harrington? Perhaps a place that can accommodate more elven tastes.
Ah, I know just the person. Her name is Morn. She's an orc. Runs a real hidden gem of a tailor shop on the other side of the district. I'll jot down the address.
And you vouch for her?
Though eccentric, she's a verifiable genius couturier. She's the only person I'd trust to complete the impossible task of producing 2 tailored outfits in half a day. Tell her I sent you and explain what it's for, and she'll put together outfits fit for royalty. I'll cover the expenses, consider it bankrolling the next step of our combined investigation. I'll put together a writ of credit in my name.
You're most kind.
Rotating parts and spinning cogs, I was beginning to see how it all lined up on the puzzle's faces. I was getting closer every turn. Until the last corner rotated into place and I felt a satisfying click. The top of the box opened up like a blooming flower, revealing a compartment inside. My sudden movement to put the box down on the table and watch it unfold stopped the other conversation in the room as Val and Harry joined me in peering at the device. There, on a small wooden cone, sat a ring of ancient make. I lifted it out of the box and inspected it. From a glance, I knew I'd seen it somewhere before, hugging the finger of the sprite in the alleyway, Danton's partner. Danton and he shared matching rings. Perhaps they were closer than I first thought. I inspected the side to see a single glowing blue dot. So this ring, Danton's, had 1 dot, while Danton's partner's ring had 3.
A ring?
The same type of ring that Danton's partner from the alleyway was wearing when I saved him.
They had matching rings? Were they married?
Rotating the jewelry in my fingers, I spied a smear of blood. A memory flashed into my brain. A red smear gained from wiping a bloodied nose. My heart nearly jumped up my throat. Oh, fuck me running.
Such language.
What? What's wrong?
It's not the same type of ring. It's the exact same ring. There was a moment of pause as Val tried to piece things together, and Harrington had no idea what was going on.
Wait, you put the ring in there?
No.
What? Then how can that be? You've had that box in your pocket all day. Even while you spoke with the sprite in the alleyway, right? How can one ring be both in your pocket and on his hand at the same time?
Sparks of realization began to flicker over Val's porcelain features. Her eyes grew wide and her gaze met mine.
No, that's silly. You must be imagining, or there's a mistake.
It would explain literally everything we've been experiencing.
Oh, stars. The implications of this are too much to consider.
Danton and the sprite I met are the same person. He's been moving through time. Likely with this ring.
I beg your finest pardon.
Okay, we've been bumping into a sprite all day. First on Station Road, where he convinced us to go to Leafstrider Cafe, then again outside the Institute where he didn't remember us, and one last time in the alleyway near his house.
If this is true, then he didn't recognize us at the Institute because...
It was the first time he'd ever seen us. He bumped into you outside the station on purpose. He must have known where to be because I, mistaking him for Danton's partner instead of Danton himself, told him that's where we first met him.
Then he sent us to the cafe on purpose. He blew himself up knowing we'd take the job because he'd already done it. Oh, my head's going funny.
Right. Let's get this all in order from Danton's perspective. He returns from a dig to find the Rose Fists want him dead. He uses a profoundly powerful recovered artifact to jump through time and escape them. That's why the thugs in the alley were talking about how hard he's been to find. He knows that they're after him, so he goes to warn his friend Makana Zora. While outside, he bumps into 2 mercs who ask him probing questions about her and his own whereabouts, and he runs.
That's how he disappeared from the dead-end road beside the Institute. He must have time jumped. If we'd have waited there, he'd have reappeared a little while later.
Exactly, but we left, and the next time he sees me, I come out of nowhere and save him in an alleyway while he's getting jumped by thugs. He recognizes me now from outside the Institute, and I tell him everything. I spill the beans about his own death, how Makana has gone missing, and how we're trying to figure everything out.
Taking that information, he bids you farewell and time jumps back to the Institute where he provides Makana's office with the ring and the puzzle, telling Olgar at reception the 2 mercs matching our descriptions will be along to investigate something. Olgar couldn't have known that we would arrive to investigate something that hadn't happened yet.
After that, he rushes downtown to bump into you on Station Road, bidding we visit Leaf Strider Cafe and gifts a gold coin. My gold coin, probably, the one I gave him in the alleyway.
He disappears in the crowd. He had his bag on him then, which likely had an explosive in it the whole time we were speaking to him. But how did he make it to the cafe before us if he didn't have the ring anymore?
Because he gave us shit directions, remember? It took us an extra few minutes to find the place. Plenty of time for him to double back and get there just before us. Fenyor said the blast happened only a minute after he arrived.
He planned the whole thing out. Or at least enough of it to put us on the trail. Very clever. He knew the Rose Fists would never let him or Makana go while they were still alive. Wait a minute. None of this accounts for Makana. Where is she? Did he take her?
I don't think he took her. Taking to my feet, I held up the ring with one remaining light. One remaining charge. I think... My eyes went wide. I grabbed my coat and rushed for the door.
Oh, I'll hold down the fort.
Valuin stumbled in her sudden need to follow, but kept in tow, chasing me out of the building. This was madness, and I didn't know what to expect anymore. All I knew was I had to see it through to the end as soon as possible. I needed to know if I was right. We marched back up to the Institute, travelling in relative silence as Val could tell I was not willing to explain myself on a crowded street. After hoofing it for 30 minutes, we were back at the Institute. We ignored the visitor's log and pressed on through the building until we reached Makana's lab. Elysia had likely gone home for the day, but we regained access to the office, once again surrounded by the acrid smell of burned furniture.
Okay, I've been quiet long enough. What's going on? Where is Makana Zora?
If I am correct, someone by the name of Makana Zora does not currently exist.
Yes, that seems to be the running theory. What are you getting at?
I held up the ring. That she will exist, once we bring her to the present time. Don't you get it? The reason a literal god said she didn't exist
is because in the brief time he checked for her, she literally didn't. Oh, stars! To step forward in time is to not exist for that duration.
You said some strong magic had been used here. This is the magic. I passed the ring to Valuin and donned my mask, just to make sure. If Makana didn't trust us enough to come through, then there was a chance I'd get a face full of flames in the next minute.
Make that thing work, and we'll see if we're right.
I get it. We came here because this was the last place we had her confirmed location. So I should focus on this room at around 10:50 this morning. That's a minute before the explosion. Oh shit, we're about to be the conversation Elysia could hear through the door. This is so exciting.
Val slipped the ring onto her finger. It seemed to warp size to sit comfortably. Pulling her hand up, she closed her eyes and muttered a list of incantations. After a few moments, I thought that I may have been mistaken somehow. Right until a circular frame of blue magic opened up like a window in the space in front of us. It was unlike anything I could have imagined. A doorway in the middle of an invisible wall. Through it, I saw a young human woman stood in a cleaner version of the office. A messy brown bob and large circular glasses accented a rounded face. She was dressed in black trousers, slip-on shoes and a large brown dockworker's jumper 3 sizes too big for her. She looked to be halfway through reading a letter before slowly turning to her right to behold the portal and us on the other side.
Hello.
As I stared through a portal to the past, it was all reaffirmed to me once again. Being an adventurer is so damned interesting. A little break here for an ad. This one is from Eternal Parchment and Cartography Co. If you're looking for a map or journal that will be found clutched in your skeletal grasp, still in near perfect condition several hundred years after your unpleasant demise, you'll want an Eternal Parchment map. Proud purveyors of indestructible maps and journals, resistant to fire, water, dragon's breath, and mild bloodstaining, these parchments are made from a secret blend of blessed fibers and necromantic bindings that will likely long outlive you and your loved ones. Stop by today. Alright, enough lollygagging. Back to the story.
Makana, Zora?
Yes, what is happening right now? Who are you?
There is an explosive in the room. Can you check by the door for us?
Her eyes shot for the door before widening. She stumbled backwards, nearly dropping the paper from her hand.
Oh, Lomdion, there's something on the back of the door. I didn't see it.
That's okay. Just jump on through the portal and we'll explain everything.
Okay. I need to grab my things.
There is literally no time.
No, let her. This is important.
She turned, pulled up the fabric on her machine man and pressed into the chest piece in a few key spots. The breastplate opened up. She retrieved a device from the chest cavity and dropped the heavy sheet back down. She turned back and without another thought, jumped through the portal.
She's through now. Close it. Close it, close it, close it, close it, close it.
That was close.
Nothing like a last-minute rescue. Very us. Makana looked around her burned office before turning to us.
Would it be okay if someone explained what's happening?
Ah, yes. Apologies. I imagine this is a tad confusing, so I'll try to be concise. The time is currently 4:19 in the afternoon.
What? It's barely 11 in the morning.
It was on the other side of that portal. Welcome to the future, Makana, Zora. We've been looking for you all day.
I have always wanted to go to the future. Do we still have tea?
Yes. It's only been 5 hours.
Sorry, I prepared that question for this eventuality, but I guess I imagined I'd go a bit further than half a day when I came up with it.
Everyone's a critic.
Which is not to say I'm not pleased to have travelled through time and not died in a fiery explosion. In fact, are we able to return to that?
Yes. Your friend Danton, he upset some powerful people by providing you with materials for your project, and well, I'm sorry to say, but they've killed him for it. And they weren't far off getting you too, had we not stopped it.
Makana stumbled back, as though the news of her friend's passing carried physical weight when it hit her.
Danton's dead.
I'm sorry.
Can't we go back in time? Can't we save him too?
I watched Val inspect the now dormant ring on her finger. No lights to signify any power, and we had no knowledge on how to charge it.
I'm afraid it's already happened. And it appears we've all played part in his plan to use the one remaining charge to save you instead.
Each word that left Val's mouth crushed Makana a little more. Please, don't think this is your fault. There is nothing you could have done to change this outcome, as it had already happened, even when we were on our way to do it. I thought I'd need to explain more or try to comfort her further, but she raised her head again with a teary smile.
Well, thank you for saving me.
What's in your hand?
This is... I don't really know what it's named, but I've taken to calling it a power bank. It's what powers my project.
And the paper?
Her eyes flickered like she'd just remembered what was on the paper. Placing the power bank on the desk, she unfurled the crunched parchment from her fist and smoothed it out before reading it aloud.
My dearest friend, Makana, there is a chance that you will not understand what this letter means for a little while. But if I have planned everything correctly, the big human and elf woman will have found a way to get to you using my ring, and then this letter will make sense. In truth, I have been playing a dangerous game for many years. My favourite game, it would seem. I made bad friends with criminals to fund the digs that I couldn't live without. It has been made clear to me now that my actions will have a negative effect on you, and I simply cannot abide that. You will not pay for my mistakes.
The tears welled up in her eyes, and her hand holding the paper dropped to the side as she briefly attempted to control herself.
I want you to know that although I regret the trouble I caused, I don't regret my choice to save you instead of myself. You are one of the most brilliant minds of our age, and you must go on to make the most of it. Do it for me, do it for your family, but most of all, do it for yourself. Live well, Makana Zora. Your friend, Danton Marshstone.
Silence filled the room, as Makana flipped the letter over in her hands, searching for any additional writing. But there was nothing more to be found.
We're going to need you to come with us. As it stands, the people responsible for this are still at large. They may think you're dead right now, but that will change if any of them see you around. You'll need to lay low until we find a more permanent solution to all this.
The young student sighed and turned back to the figure covered in its protective sheet.
Okay, that makes sense. But I can't just leave my project. I'll need to take him with us.
It's gonna look a tad suspicious leaving here carrying a body out.
Oh, you needn't worry about that.
Retrieving the strange device from the desk, Makana carefully placed it back inside the chest cavity of the machine. With a tool I didn't recognize, she tinkered for another minute before stepping away. Slowly, light flickered on in the clockwork man's chest, and then the spyglass-like eyes. I watched with amazement as its head lifted, moving by itself. Soon after, a hand followed, and I saw it inspect the motion of its wrists and fingers, like it was checking itself over. The movement was stilted and precise, lacking the natural fluidity or gesticulation one would expect from a living creature. That said, it clearly possessed intelligence of some kind.
Miss Makana, I am awake again.
Good afternoon. It looks like the time has come for you to stay awake now. You're officially complete.
The machine leant forward, stood up and towered over Makana at around 6 feet tall.
Glory of the highest, what wondrous news. But you seem sad. Is everything okay?
It could talk and understand people. It could stand and balance, but most astonishingly, it understood facial expressions and social cues. Perhaps it was more impressive to me than most, as I hadn't been able to read a lot of facial expressions, body language, or voice intonation until I was 10. I had to learn them all through effort, yet a machine had it down pat, while I still struggle sometimes. I was beyond amazed by this creation, and by Makana's ability to rebuild something constructed a millennia ago. She truly was a genius.
It's been a strange day, but I'll be okay. Thank you, Friendly.
Friendly?
Oh, right. When someone sees him move, it can be a bit shocking, so I have to keep saying, don't worry, he's friendly. It just stuck after a while.
Cute.
How intelligent is it?
He can speak every language I can think of. He can do complicated mathematics in an instant. And is very polite. But I don't think he knows what emotions are. It's clear he wasn't designed to be a person. He understands practicality rather than sentimentality. Does that make sense?
So he's literally heartless.
Exactly.
We can expect a flourishing career in politics, then.
Here, Friendly, wear this cloak. We're going outside for the first time, and I don't want people getting worried when they see you.
Makana handed Friendly the protective sheet it had been draped in previously.
An excellent suggestion. Fewer complications benefit all.
Again, with stiff but exact movements, it threw the sheet over its head and shoulders, fashioning it into a cloak that obscured its features.
And will he... Sorry, are you a he or...
Any designation will do.
Right. Will he be okay to walk with us to the Merchants District?
Oh yes, he is very competent. We'll see.
With that, we turned and departed the Institute, carefully and quietly making our way back to the shop. Cloaked figures are common in the city, so no one paid Friendly any mind. Thankfully, the hubbub of the growing evening crowds masked the sharp clanks of metal feet on cobblestone. We reached the shop in short time, and after a moment of rattling the fussy door handle, we entered to find Harrington waiting for us.
Harrington, we'd like to introduce you to Makana, Zora and Friendly.
Friendly removed his hood to greet Harrington properly. To call it bewildered would be a sore understatement for the expression that consumed Harrington's countenance.
Glory of the highest. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Harrington.
Well, the pleasure is all mine.
Harry, would you mind putting on another pot for everyone?
Oh, absolutely. It'll give me a moment to process.
One by one, we shuffled into the back room and took our places around the table. Makana sat quietly and watched Harrington make the tea with her hands clasped on her lap, likely thinking over all that had been revealed to her that day. Friendly stood motionless behind her chair and inspected everyone in the room with silent regard. Val washed up the cups and placed them on the table in identical fashion to earlier, while I sat on a wooden crate to keep out of the way. The room was full of nervous motion, but somehow still eerily quiet. All conversation had been purged from its walls, while we each took a contemplative moment preparing ourselves for the coming discussion. If I had 1,000 questions, Val had 1,000,000. But again, we couldn't spend all year talking it out, so once more, conciseness was key. Harrington handed the tea out and took a seat before gesturing to the spare next to Makana for friendly. He sat down attentively with his metal palms facing the table.
So, who would like to go first?
Well, there are things we need to know from both of you, but we'll start with friendly. What are you?
I am an autonomous spirit platform.
An autonomous spirit platform? What does that mean?
It means I am an assistant, designed to complete set tasks. Anything from making dinner, to chopping wood, to child rearing.
You're a mechanical domestic worker?
By some definitions, yes. But my functions are not limited to the domicile. I can work anywhere, for anyone. As dictated in my codices, there are only 2 things I cannot do. Harm others and lie.
Codices?
The codified instructions inherent to all autonomous spirit platforms. They are the laws that guide our actions. They are immutable, undeniable, and fundamental declarations of our being.
There are more of you.
There were. I was created, tested, and then put into storage until I was needed. My first memories after that were temporary instances when Miss Makana worked to reactivate me. I've not seen any others since the vault.
What vault? Makana?
Oh, right. It was about 2 years ago while I was studying ancient tech. Some researchers from the Institute discovered an ancient subterranean complex in Colville, a small town to the northwest. I was lucky enough to get called in to check it out, and we discovered 2 heavily damaged automatons inside. I used the parts of one to rebuild the other, the very one you see before you now. Not much else was found inside, so they believe it was a largely unused storeroom.
Just a worker left behind. So, friendly. Who created you?
I was created by the Servant, the leader of an ancient empire that your ancestors called the Tuyen Suzerainty.
And now I had 1,000,000 questions, which meant Val's were skyrocketing into billions. What we called them? What was their actual name?
Speaking their true name requires their language, which would harm you to hear. Thus, it is in direct contravention of my codices.
Oh yeah, the headaches. Okay, never mind.
What happened to the Tuyen suzerainty?
I do not know, as I was not active for its downfall.
Damn, okay. Can you go into more detail on what it was before it fell?
The Tuyen Suzerainty was the seat of power for the Leigh people, a now dead race of highly intelligent, highly evolved people that sought to achieve collective godhood through technological advancement.
That's the dream, I guess. I'd heard these people weren't very kind to ours.
I do not know, as I was not active long enough to witness their treatment of others. I know minimal information, and share only physical similarities with them. To allay your fears, I must impress upon you that I do not share my creator's attitudes toward your peoples.
Well, at least he's friendly. Now that he mentioned it, Friendly did seem physically different, even beyond his metallic nature. Tall, spindly limbs and reaching digits. When people demonstrate their likeness in their creations, you get paintings and statues that are almost lifelike. So I assumed that Friendly shared his with his creators.
Let's go back to the Servant. That's an official title.
Yes, the Servant was the democratically elected wartime leader of the Tuyen Suzerainty. He was considered unanimously to be the greatest strategist, mage, inventor, and leader. His name is unimportant and wasn't recorded, but his purpose to serve the wider interests of the Leigh people was.
Sounds like a great guy.
Glory of the highest.
Yes, glory and all, but you said wartime. War against who?
Why, the demons, of course.
Pardon? Explain yourself.
Makana's eyes widened, and her gaze turned downwards as her lips pulled into a thin line. She'd heard this before and was still struggling to believe it. Oh, I couldn't wait to hear this.
Humanity was brought into this realm by the Tuyans like the other species. Humanity was losing a war against a demon horde of unimaginable size and ferocity, and their people were on the brink of extinction. They agreed willingly to abandon their home realm and relocate here, though they proved ungrateful for the gifts bestowed upon them when they were uplifted.
Uplifted?
Changed on a biological level, like elves, orcs, and all the others. We've all been mutated, and none of us look the way we used to.
Harrington visibly shuddered at the idea. The already heavy atmosphere pushed down on us harder than before. Friendly recited it with such indifference that it became clear he really did not suffer from an emotional disposition. Everyone at the table exchanged a look, confirming our intention to not bother yelling at the machine for something it would never understand.
Go on.
In retaliation for their perceived slight, humanity tricked the gracious Leigh into allowing them to practice profane rituals. These rituals, once completed, could bring their people back from the dead.
Necromancy.
Indeed. The Tuyans saw the potential of an unlimited workforce and permitted these acts, unaware of the ritual's inherent effects. When a soul is pulled back from beyond, it leaves a small hole in the veil between worlds. These holes allow demons in, and as more rituals are completed, the hole becomes a tear. These deeds were the very same that led to the human realm's ruin. By the time the Tuyans knew what was happening, the number of the damned infesting this world had already risen to the millions. This was a plot that all uplifted species agreed upon and enacted together.
Val and I made eye contact, like our gaze was magnetic.
That was the plan that couldn't go wrong. The reason Monos was locked away was to prevent any miscalculations or unpredictability in forming a proxy war between demonkind and the Tuyans.
An effective plan indeed. The war effort was going terribly for my creators during the brief time I was awake for it.
Wait, I thought you said you didn't know why the Tuyan suzerainty fell. It seems pretty obvious.
Does it? I see no demons here. If their numbers were too much and they dominated the world, where have they all gone?
Oh shit, that was a very good point. I knew demons stalked the dark in the world still, but little else. If the Leigh beat humans and demons beat Leigh, then it's over. Humanity wouldn't suddenly have the power to defeat an enemy they'd already lost to once before, even if they dragged the other uplifted into the fray. Somehow the uplifted had emerged dominant. So something else happened. But we have no way of knowing what.
It would appear so.
What can you tell us about these metal books we've been finding?
Val asked, dumping the book that held Monos and the one retrieved from Aloysius's house on the table.
These are repositories created by the Servant. They hold information, items, and in some extreme cases, living entities.
Even the gods of our ancestors?
And many things like them.
Then that must be why Heller is so hell-bent on getting them. I would bet he's the reason that the Rose Fists are interested too.
Friendly picked Monos's book up and read it for a moment.
This one held a prisoner of extraordinary power, but is now vacant.
Yeah, that's fine. We already know about that. Don't worry about that one. He picked up the other.
This book contains schematics for a device called a World Anchor. These devices were designed to store the souls of the populace should the war be lost. Had they been implemented, souls would not pass through the veil when they died, but would instead be caught by a world anchor. This would have prevented any tear forming when the individual was revived later.
Like a lich's phylactery, but on a huge scale. That's... well, it's genius.
Unfortunately for my creators, this book does not suggest that any were successfully created.
I think the others quietly joined me in gratitude of that fact.
Okay. I need some time to process all this, and we still have other things to handle. For now, back to current business. There have been 2 explosions now, and as far as the Rose Fists are concerned, both Danton and Makana have perished. We want to keep them thinking that. Harrington, do you have a place where Makana can stay until we figure out what to do about these thugs?
Indeed. I have plenty of space in my suite at the Emerald Vale. Is that okay with you, Miss Zora?
Not every day a girl gets to stay at the Emerald Vale. I would be very grateful. Thank you for hosting me, Mr. Harrington.
Not to worry, my dear.
It's not a neat bow.
But it will do. We'll work on tying up the rest of the loose ends as we come to them.
Indeed we would. Coal gas lamps hung on each wall, illuminating the table of unlikely conspirators. The question loomed in all our minds. Would we be enough? I wasn't so sure. The task seemed insurmountable, but I already had experience overcoming what I thought could not be. I could only hope that this would end the same. Hope. That was a big thing for us, maybe more than we'd like to admit. There were times we were out there without food or energy, but with a lead and hope that it would work out. If you can hang on to hope, you'll be surprised by how much farther you can go. Do whatever you can to keep that candle alive until you have the fuel to set your heart ablaze once more. For now, however, it's time to enjoy a much-deserved break. Rest well, and good hunting. Calling All Adventurers is a production of the Tower Array, written and directed by Gray Smith. The host is played by Gray Smith. Valuin Emmaris is played by Ivy Smith. Harrington Mulbrand is played by Carl Bonebright. Makana Zora is played by Jodie Leigh. Friendly is played by Adam McLaughlin. You can find out more about the show at thetowerarray.com.